Yolanthe and her team gathered in the map room where Antarius recounted the story of the HMCV Winchester. The ship had been lost at sea while running cargo from South Mallia to North Mallia. For 5 years, the ship was believed to have sunk, but it seemed that the record of the Winchester's fate was only speculation. The party's mission was to board the Winchester and find out what happened. The heroes boarded the Winchester and began investigating what seemed to be a perfectly pristine vessel. Not even a touch could be found on any of the wood composing the ship. Inside the captain's quarters, a journal detailed a crew that had began disappearing one at a time until only the captain remained. The rest of the ship was searched and they came back above deck. The entire ship has changed. The unbroken trust was gone, and the Winchester had changed from a pristine ship to showing the apparent damage from years of being lost at sea. A strange creature manifested before them, a Merid called Shathira. Shathira demanded that the heroes tell him an entertaining story, and if he found the tale's excitement lacking, he would strand the party in the elemental plane of water for eternity. Ianfyr attempted to spin a tale, but the Merid was not pleased. Yolanthe told the tale of the god that fused with her, giving her a wolven eye. Enjoying the tale thoroughly, Shathira promised to grant Yolanthe a single wish. Send us all back to our ship, she said, and the Merid snapped his fingers, and all but Ianfyr were transported back to the Unbroken Trust. To punish him for his terrible storytelling, the Merid gave him an ominous hand mirror and sent him back to join the others. Poring over the mirror's purpose for a time, Ianfyr found the signature of Brogruk Balfour inscribed into the side of the mirror. Tess discovered the same signature on the portal mirror below deck, and as the party gathered to inspect it, they were drawn by the curse of the hand mirror into the plane of mirrors. Welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign. Just a few announcements before we begin. For all of you folks out there, I have updated the bio scrolls. We have some new stuff on there. All of the new character art is now being reflected, and you'll start to see that I'm going to start putting NPC stuff and other story data on there. So enjoy that thoroughly. That is there for your consumption. Otherwise, this is the new landing page. You'll probably notice that already. This will kind of be a staple area, and it's going to provide the players with some really cool features, some interactive maps, including the world map in the upper left, the journey map, the player journal, and you'll see the NPC photos that are starting to populate down at the lower left. I'll get to work on those even after today's session. So those will we'll start using those moving forward as well. Um, just really cool stuff in the works, and I'm always trying to improve the campaign. So yeah, awesome. So when we left off, everybody was in the mirror room, and there was a reaction between that mirror and the hand mirror that was given to Ianfyr, and Ianfyr was immediately pulled into the plane of mirrors. As well, Tess went after him. Val went after Tess, and everybody kind of followed suit, except for Healthius, who decided to remain on the ship. I'm actually going to open up with Healthius here. One moment while I kind of rearrange my windows. All right, so Healthius, you were inside the or you were in the mirror room, and the mirror ripples gently as Yolanthe steps through the aqueous glass. Antarius, right there, seems thoughtful for a moment before he turns to you. When you're ready, let's head upstairs so that I can explain to the rest of the crew why they're gone.
Just a quick note for the stream. Healthiest is without audio, so he's typing in Discord. We'll do our best to communicate what his character is saying and doing.
Yeah, please type in the new Dalancia chat. Healthiest, don't just DM me. That way everybody can kind of help me out here. I should probably also get some. So yes, Antarius has asked you to follow him up to the, up above deck. So if you've any other business in the mirror room, now would be the time. Going to give Healthiest just a moment there.
No business in the mirror.
Okay, yeah, cool. With no business, or not having no business in the, or left in the mirror room, let's see. All right, Antarius turns with a subtle flourish of his cape. He climbs the ladder with ease and opens up the trap door above. You follow him down the corridor and then up the stairs and above deck. Whoops, I did not mean to leave your character in there, Tess. My bad.
I was like, where am I?
I was doing some testing. I did not, that was not divine intervention, I promise. So Healthiest, Antarius, let me see. So arriving above deck, Antarius says, "Mates, come, hear me. I've got an announcement." The crew casually meanders behind Antarius toward the front of the ship, and once he's satisfied everyone is present and attentive, he continues, "The events of today have been, well, frightening, I'll admit. This is not a typical voyage, as you've probably noticed. We find ourselves facing perilous dangers and away from the coast. I'll be candid with you. The cargo we carry is more than ale, stout, and spice. We also carry some more illicit cargo by way of Her Majesty, Queen Alice Webb. The officials in Godbury won't know about this, and you can expect some additional payout once we move the merchandise." For a moment, there's mumbling among the crowd that you can hear. Healthiest. The heroes have returned to the Winchester to make sure that it and its malevolent occupants don't make its way back to tail us. They should return in a few days, or perhaps a week. There are more mumbles. They're counting on us, all of us, to bring this ship to port at Shopabin, and I, for one, will see her there. The mumbling stops, and it's dreadfully silent for a moment. After a moment, Adam here steps forward. And they kind of like ball up their fist. "Yeah!" And everybody starts cheering as well. "Yeah!" You do note, however, that a lot of the faces of people, although, there's a lot of cheering, that kind of thing, everybody seems a little uneasy. That does mean no, for the time being, no messing with Bogram. Let's go back to the landing page here. A little visual aid for you guys. Right, switching page. It's where things will get a little bit weird for me because it's all in alphabetical order and I have to like remember what I call my documents and everything. Cool. All right, so we are here. For everybody else. Let me go ahead and switch the scene one more time. Actually, let me put on some appropriate music once I do so. All right, so you all step into a new place. Tess, you've seen this before. I don't believe anybody else has poked their head through, but hopefully this music won't be too loud for everyone. But you step into a chamber here. Whoops, wrong thing. So you step through the mirror into a room with a stone chair that faces the mirror from whence you came. The room is pitch black, save for the ominous glow of the mirror. At this point, I would like to have everyone, or we're going to initiate a sort of turn order here. Let me take that down real quick. I'm going to base it on. Oh, Healthiest said something.
Yeah, he was saying he would take point on telling the crew he would be ship's counsel.
Okay, so you go around, tell, or I guess, is that something that you're going to discuss with Antarius, or are you just going to kind of go to those people who were needing therapy? Are you just trying to get the tea? As for everybody here, let me go ahead and kind of get an order going. This will just be a really quick turn order, and it is not by any means. So yes, Dalancia, Ianfyr, and Misku. It's by no means a hard turn order. I'm just going to kind of have a turn order to call you guys out and see what you're doing. So we will move forward with that. What did Healthiest say?
Nothing yet.
Okay. All right. So first things first, everybody who is currently in the mirror room here, please go ahead and roll a perception check. This will be for, well, no, just roll a perception check in general. See a Tess with a 10, Ianfyr with 12, Misku with the 23. Very nice, very nice. And Dalancia, 29. Wow. Dalancia,
I missed
Misku. You guys hear what sounds like very quiet footsteps out the door this direction and kind of down the hallway, though you don't really know from which direction it came. By the way, through the at the mirror, you can actually see through to the other side still. So you got once you finished stepping through, you saw that Antarius and Healthiest had left the room.
Yolanthe's ears perk up a bit, and she motions kind of like frantically with her hands to like put her fingers up to her lips and points at the hallway, trying to like convey there's someone there.
Balphalin sort of steps toward the mirror, looking a little thoughtful. He says, troubling. I suppose this is the point when we were told that we should smash the other side, the mirror on the other side.
Well,
It doesn't seem
I
like a
just-
good idea.
Well, I just wanted to let it be known that I said this was not a great idea before we died.
Regardless, we know what we have to do.
Everyone, shh! Someone's coming.
The footsteps fade as though the whoever it was that was walking may have been walking in another direction.
She listens really intently, and then she sighs in relief and relaxes a bit. She's like, okay, it sounds like they're gone.
Balphalin appears cautious for a moment. Looks around
And then
at the
she
rest of you.
kind of walks over to Tess and starts like looking her over, like the way a dog would sniff somebody if they've come from somewhere, like trying to figure out if there's any injuries or anything.
You're sniffed.
Not sniffed, but like kind of like circling around, like looking her over, like checking if she's hurt.
Ianfyr walks up and goes, "Hmm."
Yes.
That tickles. Yes, Ianfyr, you're completely right. Tess was wrong. We shouldn't have come this far.
Well,
Can
now
we
with that
just-
being said, we better see what we can do to either get out of here or do what we're supposed to do.
Can't we just go back through this mirror? And she kind of reaches over to try and poke the mirror.
As you reach over, you are able to like place your finger, your hand through the mirror just fine.
She kind of goes eep and like gets really startled and draws her hand back really suddenly because she wasn't expecting that.
Ianfyr, when we arrived on this side, our duty was to smash the mirror and find another mirror that will take us back to the material plane. Smash that mirror as well.
I see.
It was through this mirror we believe that the magical disease was spread. And thus, smashing this mirror would be a precautionary method to, I suppose, prevent whatever malevolent person or entity had taken such an action.
That little mirror that Ianfyr has is the one we're supposed to go home in. We're not going to fit in that.
Well, not with that
Um,
attitude.
It could be a key for activating other mirrors should we find one.
The elven sorceress that we encountered in the other plane of existence seemed to imply that there were other mirrors that might let us back into the material world.
But if they were wrong and we destroy this one, then we're
We
stuck.
destroy our only way back.
It seems to me first things first, we need to get our bearing and see what we're looking at in this area.
Valphalin's attention turns toward the hallway at the other side of the room. I think you're right. It seems logical. Tess, I've got you first in the turn order. Oh, sorry. Do you need me to skip you and go to someone else?
No, it's okay. I'm a slow writer sometimes, so I need to catch up with my notes after this turn.
It's okay. Small moves are fine as well.
Tess is going to peek, like, around the corner into the hallway here and see if she can see anything.
All you can see is the back wall here, and it seems to be a corridor that splits in two directions. One going left, one going right.
She'll take a step forward and slowly lean forward and look left and right.
Go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
Oh, don't we? I was gonna say, you want to use your inspiration?
Yeah, you do have inspiration if you want to reroll.
I think I'm gonna save my inspiration for just in case.
So I
Adjust.
will go ahead and use my bend luck skill, and I will add a D4 to that.
Okay. Ianfyr using bend luck. Roll that d4.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
It's just /roll, right? Roll D4.
Yeah.
There it is. And 4. Nice. Tess, as you are peering left down the hallway, you notice off in the distance, quite a ways down the hallway, what looks like a figure, just moving around the corner.
How tall is the figure?
To you, about chest height, shoulder maybe.
She'll turn back around and point toward the hallway and say, Tess is not sure whom, but somebody just went around the corner that way. About this high? And she, like, motions up to, like, her, I guess, collarbone area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna end my turn there so I can catch up with my notes.
Ianfyr, what's up? Or if, just to be clear, if any of you guys have like reactions or stuff that you want to do to what the party's doing, we're not on a hard turn order, so you can speak up at any moment. But I am just checking. I have the turn order to just check in with you. So otherwise, Ianfyr, what's up?
Ianfyr kind of like follows really closely behind Tess as she's peeking around, and when she hears that there's somebody there, she kind of like starts growling a little bit under her breath. I don't like it here.
Nor do I.
She kind of takes note of the chair too. She kind of looks at it a little bit like, why is there a big creepy chair facing towards this mirror? Was somebody watching us?
It would seem this some sort of viewing area.
It's probably
that-
the lady.
The lady.
And somewhere around here is Tess's friend Skrittow. We need to go find him.
The chair is set upon a small pedestal, so there's about a 6-inch little ledge that leads up to the chair. Looks like for optimum viewing. Also, I did see you in chat, Healthiest. So after Antarius says what he does, he'll offer his console to anyone that needs it. Also, handing a bag with a rope to Antarius. If anyone needs me and is in an emergency, I'll be in the bag. But please be.
Yeah, for his little rope trick.
Mind frame needs to be. Okay, so you're going into the bag to concentrate. It sounds like. I'll be in the bag.
And offers anyone who wants to go into the bag for counseling services.
Just imagine like um, what's his name's voice from Dragonlance. Okay. What else do I have in the turn order here? Ianfyr, you're up.
So I will look to test and say, sorry, I'll look to test and say, about how far would you say that hallway we went?
Looking thoughtful, Tess thinks about it. Without getting a close measurement, could have been maybe 50 feet.
Okay. So from there, and which direction did you say they headed to?
But Tess peeked left around this corner here, and then they rounded another corner, going left.
Well, okay. So Ianfyr is going to go ahead of Tess, and he's going to peek to the right.
Peek to the right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. Nothing.
Natural 20.
You don't see
All
anything.
right.
Tess, you see him looking right, but what you saw was clearly to the left.
So
Or did I say right? I feel like
No,
Yeah.
I said left. Yeah, and Ianfyr's checking the other side.
yeah, you don't see anything the other way.
So I'm gonna look to the others and say, I didn't see any sort of movement or any action from the right. So for the time being, it looks to be relatively safe.
Just a hallway.
So I recommend we head that way first.
Lead the way, Ianfyr.
Val's going to take up the spot just behind you. Tess, right behind Val, you see him kind of look left and right. He kind of gestures to the rest of you. All clear from what I can see. However, as he walks, you hear his armor quite clearly echoing through the hall. Clank, clank, clank.
Tess is going to step out after Val Phelan and take a moment to look behind her real quick. Just to make sure that figure from earlier isn't maybe on their way back.
Go ahead and roll a perception. Nothing's there. Just hallway.
Ianfyr is gonna mention, I think I see a little bit of a kind of glow ahead.
That's right. Yes, you do see a bit of glow coming from the a hallway that breaks off to the right ahead.
So Ianfyr, well, let the others catch up to him, and he's gonna slowly make his way up towards that corner.
Okay. Yeah, right here. Actually, Misku, what are your intentions here? What do you want to do?
Misku's gonna hang back. I want to make sure no one comes back to this mirror behind us. So I guess Misku's gonna try and wait in place and be like the rear guard.
It is pretty dark in this hallway, as well, I should mention. So there is no other light in these hallways. The only light that's available is coming from the mirror that you just came out of, that you can tell so far. That and what you can see up ahead, Ianfyr. Cool. Do you want to? Okay, so you're waiting. You're waiting to see if anybody tries to follow you or come back and cycle back around to the room that you just came out of.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna wait.
Cool. Phelan is going to take a 5-foot step, sort of off to the side here, and looks back. Yes, I see the glow too. Perhaps we should approach with caution. I'll be right behind you. Okay, while you guys mull over what's going to happen or what you're going to do next, let me check in with you, Healthius. So what are you doing? Let me know in the chat what you're doing inside the your bag, your rope trick portal that you have apparently placed into a bag. Kind of creating a temporary bag of holding. Okay, otherwise, Ianfyr, what are you up to?
Ianfyr tugs at Tess's cloak and whispers, "Maybe I should scout up ahead."
Tess is actually AFK at the moment. We'll be right back. But I would assume Tess would agree.
She kind of nudges past Tess a little bit towards Phelan. And she's like, I can see if I can get a bit closer to make sure there's nothing waiting.
I'll be right behind you. I'm going to say at this point, Val probably doesn't draw his weapon, but he has his hand on the hilt of his sword, ready for anything. He's quite aware right now. Obviously aware of how much noise his armor is making. He's, kind of reluctant to move, but yeah, you can go ahead and move wherever you need to go.
I didn't realize that I could cast this on multiple people, but I would like to use my Pass Without Trace spell.
Okay. Can you link it?
I thought it was only for me, but apparently I can choose multiple targets.
Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has plus 10 bonus to dexterity checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or traces of its passage. That's awesome. That is a plus 10 bonus to dexterity. In which case, Phelan is going to go ahead and roll a stealth with that plus 10 bonus. This is sadly with disadvantage because heavy armor. But a 19 is still a pretty damn good roll, I'd say.
Do we all have to roll a stealth?
If you're trying to stealth.
I will, yeah.
And only really if you're moving.
Yeah, she wants to go up ahead a little bit. My character sheet is not letting me scroll down far enough for stealth for some reason.
Oh, weird.
It's like stuck right there under sleight of hand.
Try closing and opening. If not, I can roll it for you.
Yeah, it's like it won't let me move the character sheet.
There it is. Looks like you also rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Okay. You can go ahead and make your move.
Okay, she kind of slowly tiptoes closer towards the source of the glow.
Okay. As you approach the little hallway here, do you want to try to peek around inside it?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, let me move your token for just a moment. So peeking inside, you find a room that is almost identical to the one that you just left. There is a mirror as well as a chair up on a pedestal. The mirror is what is emitting this eerie glow. You pause a moment to take a look into the mirror itself, and there is an image of a sort of room. It looks to be empty, and it looks to be pretty old. You can see cobwebs formed on the corners, and there's various furnishings that look like they have been worn with time.
Do I see any people or anything in the room?
No.
Okay, she kind of backs up to where Ianfyr is, and she says, or she kind of whispers to him, "It's another one."
We have another mirror. Okay. Maybe we should continue down this hallway, see if we can find any more mirrors.
That seems as good an idea as any, but I'm beginning to worry that if we venture out too far, it could prove difficult to find our way back to the original mirror. Is there some way we would know how to return?
Maybe we can put some kind of marking on our doorway. So that we'll know which one is ours.
Leaving a kind of marking behind might also leave a evidence that someone else was here, or any other passersby.
Her ears kind of droop, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't think of that."
Ianfyr, do you have any kind of magical means by which we might be able to mark or remember this location?
I could, but the thing would be, it would be a mark that anyone can see.
Healthiest, it looks like you're trying to summon something. A thief, is it? His name is Thief. What is
Map guy?
this? What is this thief?
I wonder if he's talking about Bagram.
Oh, are you asking? Well, yeah. What do? Could you explain exactly what you're trying to do? Are you casting something, or are you just asking for somebody to come and join you in the? What are you casting?
Oh no.
No, not casting. Okay. It's like charades. Oh, okay. So he wants to cast Find Familiar.
Oh.
Are you able to link that in
familiar? Yeah.
in the
and his
in-game?
familiar is called Thief. What he's saying.
Okay. Well, he's doing that.
So, if you're thinking about it, we'll say, I can leave a mark, but it will only last for a short time.
Hmm. What about drawing a map? Hmm. Balphalin is thoughtful for a moment and then takes his pack off and sets it on the ground, starts to rifle through it until he finds a parchment and a writing utensil and starts to kind of draw out as best he can an overhead view of what we're looking at here. How can I roll on that? So I do actually have navigator's tools.
Would it be survival?
Oh, I don't actually have navigator's tools. I just have the proficiency. Never mind. I just try to kind of draw something, or Val kind of starts to kind of map stuff out as we go. So as he sees it, he's kind of keeping track of that as we go.
So what Ianfyr will do is he'll go back to the entrance that from the room that we came from, and in sort of the faces. Sorry, a sec. So in the on essentially one of the sides of the walls here, like he will look to the wall and you'll sort of see him concentrate very heavily, and then
If you want to leave like a marking that's a little bit less like conspicuous, you could probably like find like some spot of the chair that isn't as like obvious or something.
well, the reason I'm doing it all along this wall is if they're walking in, like really the only way it would be noticeable would be sort of on the side of their eye.
I also
Okay.
have locate object if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be good. That would work.
So Ianfyr is going to sort of concentrate on this wall very carefully, and then he's going to go. As he's
Shit.
going to cast prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation. Go ahead and link it. Excellent, excellent. What is the effect? You're just trying to like leave a mark of some kind?
Yeah, it's going to just be sort of like an inconspicuous mark, but something that would be like maybe like a faint flash line or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you leave like a faint gash in the wall, but one that's telltale in such a way that it's like the I for your name.
Right.
You know what, Healthiest? I'm going to go ahead and link that in the chat so that everybody can see it. Give me a second here. So, spellbook. So you are casting Find Familiar. Wish there was a search function on here. That would be kind of cool. Let's see, what level was it? First level? Find. What? Why is it not listed on here? What the hell? Oh my gosh. I know you have this spell though because I saw it on your sheet. Oh my gosh. Now for some reason there's even less spells. Oh, they're not in order. There it is. Find Familiar. Excellent. Okay, here it is. So we're casting that spell. Bam, there it is, casted. That'll also update your spell slots. Okay, so Thief is a weasel. Okay, you grab the spell components or your spell source, you summon this Fey Weasel.
Okay. So coming back. Okay.
Consider it summoned.
Meantime, we should probably focus back what we're gonna do.
All right. Okay, so let me actually cycle back around to Tess. So Tess, while you were AFK, Ianfyr approached the hallway up there and took a look around. You also watched Ianfyr walk into the back into the other room and mark the wall.
Oh, good idea. They'll help us find their way back.
Well,
Oh,
your roll will
Ianfyr
last about an hour.
Dalancia also used Pass Without Trace on everybody present, so you all have a +10 to stealth checks.
Oh, neat.
Super sneaky.
Well, I guess Tess is just gonna start following along this wall here, because we're heading toward the glowing room.
So Valphalen's going to make his way up there, take a look into the room himself, continues past it. There's so yeah, you guys see the same thing in the mirror. It's sort of like a another room. It looks to be well, ancient. There's some furniture in there that looks like it has you know, kind of worn with time, and there are cobwebs all over the ceiling, but it doesn't look like anybody is in the room in the mirror.
Can I have Tess walk up to this other mirror and see what it looks like on the other side?
Sure, yeah. Are you wanting to just look through it, or are you trying to pass through it? What are you trying to do?
I'm just looking to see if it's like still the ship or if it's like a different part of the world that's on the other side of the mirror.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely not the ship at all. This is like an ancient looking bedroom. It looks like it's in some sort of living like quarters, maybe a house. There is a pretty there's a pretty expensive looking ancient bed pushed against the wall. It has like the tall posts and the canopy draped over the top. But all of that looks like very time worn. So there's a lot of like what looks like just general elemental damage to it, like like it's old.
So it looks old, but it looks like somebody is still living there, or that the place had been abandoned. Like, is it dirty, dusty, cobwebby? Are there any portraits hanging on walls?
Yes, there are. Everything is really dusty and time worn, and it looks like it's been abandoned forever.
Well, this certainly isn't part of the ship. This looks like somebody's room.
Based off what we can see through the mirror, does it look like, say, standard dwarven style furniture, or is this like a different, elven or whatever?
Let me see. Go ahead and roll. I'll let you roll history or history's. I'll let you roll either a history check or I'll let you roll. No, you know what? History seems like it's the right one here. It really seems like that's going to be the one. Go ahead and roll history.
Okay. Give me a sec. Yeah. It's after. So that came up with a 10.
You feel like you've seen this style before, but you can't put your finger on where. This definitely looks to be really ancient, possibly dwarven.
Ianfyr, is that compact mirror acting up again?
Take a look.
As you produce the mirror from your pocket, it is warm to the touch, and it does seem to be just reacting in general. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything in particular, just being here. It's sort of, it almost hums. It has sort of like a that it's like putting off. It's a just, you could almost not hear it.
I'm sure it must be driving Yolanthe crazy.
No, Yolanthe's too far away to hear it.
I'll say, it's warm, but it's not especially crazy at the moment.
Anybody else want to take any actions here?
I think Misku. Oh, Misku's back.
Yeah.
Misku, what are you doing?
I'm just keeping watch down the southern side of the hallway.
So far, nothing has turned up. Go ahead and roll a perception check. for listening.
Everyone or just Miscu?
Just Miscu.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Go. That's good.
No, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, you don't see or hear anything currently. Seems like the coast is clear. Val's going to kind of poke his head back into the room. Interesting.
Tess is going to try to poke her head through the mirror to take a look at the other side.
Ianfyr, you... Oh, okay, you're going to poke your head through?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no need to roll anything. How do you... Are you just gonna like lean?
So she's
like grab the sides?
She's grabbing the sides of the mirror and she's just like gonna stick her face through and she's gonna like look left and right.
As you do that, Val's like, "Wait, Tess," and
she's motorboating that mirror.
Yeah, Tess does it anyway.
I am motorboating the mirror. Yes.
Tess pokes her head through the mirror. Actually, Tess, as soon as you place your head through the mirror, there's that familiar scent from, like that really dusty, musky scent that you remember distinctly from being at Dintherum. Although you don't remember seeing this room specifically, nor any other room with a mirror other than the one. But yeah, this room has that distinct scent. In fact, the furniture in general seems to share a sort of stylistic similarity between what you remember from being there now that you look at it in person.
Okay, so earlier I had asked if there was like a portrait hanging on the wall or like paintings. Like what do those look like? Am I close enough to see?
You can kind of tell what they look like. There's one that depicts a sort of humanoid figure. It's very dusty, so there's kind of a layer of dust on them that makes it hard to make out every detail. But there's one that has sort of a prominent figure. As you kind of squint, you remember the paintings that you saw in Dintherum of the Arakakra. And that's what this looks like, is another one of those.
So this humanoid figure looks like one of the bird humanoids.
Yes, whether this is one of their living spaces, you're probably thinking not, because of the presence of a bed. Can't see, something like that wanting to lay down in a bed. But perhaps, you never know.
She'll pull her face out of the mirror and turn around, looking at Ianfyr and Val and saying, "It smells like Dintherum in there."
Dintherum? Interesting.
It's dank and very, very musty.
I wonder if this is yet another mirror to the material plane.
Seems to be, but it also looks abandoned. Shall we go in and investigate more or move on? There's also a portrait of one of those humanoid Arakakra things that we fought.
Ah, I see. The zombie is right. Actually...
But an actual painted portrait.
I'm a bit curious about our friend from this side. We haven't seen Skrittow.
He could be a little busy with the lady. Perhaps we should move on and investigate further. And she'll back away from the mirror and start kind of making her way toward the hallway that we came from.
Okay. On the other side of the mirror, Healthius, I see that you have, here again, like, a few moments. Thief pops out of the bag and heads to the mirror room. Cool. Thank you, Miscu. So let's see. So Healthius, just to enunciate this out loud, just to say it out loud for everybody watching. So Healthius, from within his rope trick inside the bag, has summoned a weasel and has now instructed the weasel to head to the mirror room. After getting to know the familiar once again, or sitting and kind of interacting with the familiar like an old friend. That's very creepy, Tess. Thank you for contributing.
It's Weasel.
That.
It's Weasel.
That is not what that looks like.
but his name's Weasel.
No, his name is Thief. All right, so Healthius, the thief, or rather not the thief, but the weasel thief. not the weasel that Tess posted, but Thief. You and Thief kind of interact for a little bit before Thief takes your instruction and pops out of the portal and immediately books it for the mirror room. Are you having him like go through the mirror? What's going on? Yes, that kind of weasel, yes. No, not that kind of.
I wish we could post gifs to Twitch.
Okay, but he's a ebony or an ebon. He's a black weasel. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So he's headed out. He heads for the mirror room, and you're having him pop through the mirror. So we're gonna say that happens. Let me go ahead and make that a thing. Miscu, you were watching over the mirror room and over the hallway. Wham. Healthiest, you should now have a token in this room that you can see. Yes?
Oh, wait.
Miscu, you see this little black weasel come out of the mirror. Well, it actually specifically it makes its way down the little trap door and the little ladder. It just kind of like climbs and then it hops through the mirror and now it's on your side. Healthiest, try clicking the reload button in your browser.
What noise do weasels make?
I don't know if I have anything like that.
I imagine they're just like little sniffy noises.
Yeah, something like a maybe. No, that's a mouse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything for that.
I don't think I've ever heard a weasel make a noise outside of sniffs.
Yeah, there's not really anything that I can do about that right now. I have you set to an owner of this, but right, so the weasel comes through. So the rest of you in the other room, you have no idea this is going on, of course, so
well, we'll take care of that in a little bit, but so
yeah, see if you can scroll around and see if you can find it. Otherwise, you should now have a character in here. Try like switching back to the new Dalancia scene and back. I don't know. Press tab until it goes over. But either way, let me actually check in Ianfyr.
Or you might need to zoom all the way out and find where your token is.
Yeah, that might be a thing too. Ianfyr, what are you up to?
Ianfyr watches as they explore this room with this mirror, and then she decides to kind of sneak a little bit farther down the hallway with her ears perked up and her nose is sniffing, trying to see if she can detect anything farther down.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check. And I think, do you have keen senses? I feel like you have keen senses.
I feel like, I hope not. Let's see. I don't believe I do, only when I'm in animal form.
Yeah.
I do have inspiration, so I don't know if I can re-roll that garbage ass roll or not.
You absolutely, you can re-roll any roll with inspiration. So if you use your inspiration point, you can re-roll anything.
I will be doing that then.
Yeah, that looks better.
Yeah, it looks a little better. From around the corner up ahead, you once again make out the very faint and fading sound of footsteps.
Okay, she kind of crouches down as far down as she can, and oops.
With a 30, though, you can make out that these footsteps sound less like shoes, and they sound more like a sort of scratching, barefoot claws.
She kind of tilts her head,
perhaps,
and kind of comes forward and tries to peek real subtly around the corner.
Go ahead and roll yet another perception check. This one will be for sight.
Ugh, I can't
Actually,
see.
I mean, it's still a 15. So peeking around the corner, you notice that there are several other hallways off to the left as you come around the corner. This is a very long hallway. There appear to be other light sources coming from the left-hand hallways. The right-hand, there's a larger hallway that breaks off back to the south. And just toward the very end of the hallway, you see what looks like a small figure.
Okay.
And it's,
do they look like they're going?
It's turning the corner and walking down that hallway. So as soon as it turns the corner, it vanishes around the hallway.
Okay. She kind of glances back at everyone else to see what they're doing.
Tess is gonna walk out into the hallway. Excuse me, Ianfyr. Everything look okay over there, Ianfyr?
Without turning away from the hallway, Ianfyr says, "I thought I saw something or someone. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell.
Perhaps the same person Tess saw around the corner earlier?
Maybe. They went around one of those corners again."
Oh, it's only a matter of time before they make their way this way. Perhaps we should move on.
Yeah, I think so. Let's get out of here. But where exactly are we going?
Tess is curious to see if there are other mirrors aside from, well, these two.
She looks at Tess now and she says, "We were supposed to smash a mirror from this side, but we don't want to smash our mirror. What happens if we destroy that other one?"
We destroy the other one. Simply put, we won't be able to return through it. We'd have to find another mirror to get back. Which I think we've located one, perhaps. Although, we've been to other planes of existence before that are connected by this realm that we're aware of. It may be the case that that's not the material realm at all. I believe that before we make any rash moves, we should make perfectly sure that it connects where we believe that it goes. Let's actually go ahead and stop right here. We're going to take a, 15-minute break? What do you think?
Yeah, let's take a 15-minute break so everyone can get up and stretch. And then we will resume. So we'll see you guys again at 6:45.
Welcome back. We are, so Healthiest, you had just come, or rather Thief had just come through the portal, the mirror. And are you currently sharing your view, your perspective with him? I believe you are.
Yes.
So while you're concentrating inside your rote trick portal, you're able to share your view with the weasel. So inside the room here, you see Misku, who is up against the, or kind of toward the entrance. Misku, you see this weasel come through the portal. You don't recognize this weasel. It seems to just kind of be scurrying all over the place at current.
Jumping off the walls.
Parkour.
Hardcore.
Misku's gonna look back down the hall towards the rest of the party and kind of motion for them looking really confused.
Is that the druid?
Misku? No, Misku's a barbarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tess is currently facing the other way, so I don't think she would notice if Misku was motioning.
Yeah, Yolanthe is the druid. Yolanthe is down the hallway with Tess, and we're peeking around the corner. I don't know that we've noticed there's a weasel.
No, here's Misku's character art for reference.
That's the warrior, right?
That's the, barbarian.
Can you turn down the music a bit, because it's kind of interfering with me me understanding the voices?
Okay, better?
A little. That's better. Okay, that's better.
Cool. Got it. Okay. All right. So Healthiest, are you just, what are you going to do from here? Are you staying in the room? Are you going to dash past Misku?
I might, kind of dash underneath her legs.
Yep. Okay.
Swing. I don't know if I can go that far.
You can, it's fine.
It says I can, but I'm in complete darkness.
Yeah, it's very dark in this hallway, so you kind of make out the images of what appear to be the rest of the, well, at least Ianfyr you can make out kind of up toward the north. But yeah, this creature does not have any kind of dark vision of any kind, so it would require a light source.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Would a weasel have dark vision?
Nope.
I don't think so, no.
At least not this weasel. I don't know, it's not on the character sheet, so I assume it doesn't have it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Pretty sure weasels do not have dark vision.
Anyway.
Okay, I guess we'll bring it back around to Tess.
Does Tess hear the pitter patter of this little weasel like slip slapping its way down the hallway?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely silent in these hallways except for the very gentle hum of the mirrors as you pass by them.
So I don't hear the weasel?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Tess is gonna turn around. Ears kind of perking a little bit at the sound, and she's gonna squint her eyes. Does Tess see something on the floor back there?
Valphalin also flips around and looks directly at the weasel and starts, He kind of like, you can tell he's kind of like shocked, and he like goes for his blade, but doesn't draw it immediately.
Some sort of cat? A cat with a snake? A snake cat? Ianfyr, what is that?
Pretty sure that's not a thing.
Cat snakes aren't real?
Ianfyr will sort of turn around to go see what everyone's talking about.
When you guys look back down the hall towards the Weasley, you just see Misku in the background just kind of shrugging.
Solid guard dogging Misku.
She's like, I don't know what the hell that thing is. Where'd it come from?
Should we assume that it is not malevolent?
Maybe this place just has a rodent problem.
Tess thinks that maybe Ianfyr should watch his ankles just in case.
Has anyone tried asking it?
Yolanthe, we could probably use your services here.
Yolanthe has been still peeking around the corner, but she turns around to see what's going on.
What is that?
There's a little creature that is scurrying back and forth across the hallway.
She peeks around Val's shoulders, and then she's like, I can see in the hallway, right? Like, I can see the thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see just fine.
She crosses her...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. She crosses her arms over her chest, and she's like, are you all kidding me? It's a weasel. It's harmless. What it's doing here, I don't know, though.
That is also my question.
She kind of squeezes in between, and she kind of makes a little, like, noise at it. Did my mic pick that up? I don't even know.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see anything, so I don't know. All I can hear is the, and I'm like,
Let's have the weasel roll a dexterity check.
Okay, how do I do that? Double click. No. Yes.
Double click on your weasel. It'll pull up your character sheet, and then click on the word dexterity.
Normal.
Normal, yes. 9. So Yolanthe, you clearly notice the weasel sort of stammer into one of the walls. It apparently is blind and cannot see where it's going.
She kind of sighs and taps at her pendant around her neck with her finger and mutters a little something, and then casts Speak with Animals.
Is it okay? Is this the druid?
This is the
Yes, this is the druid. Let me show the art for the druid real quick. Brand new art for the druid here, care of.
Hey,
what do they want to be called? Rogue. I forget the full name.
Rogue Pixel.
No. I mean like the name they wanted me to list.
I'm sorry.
Rogue Illustrations. There we go.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So Weasel went AFK. Everybody else seems to be kind of. Weasel's like BRB AFK.
The weasel just like hit the wall and then did the Windows error noise.
Boom.
Weasel's collecting itself.
Yeah, it's in shock.
Well, in the meantime, with Yolanthe trying to speak to the weasel, Tess is going to take the reins on kind of stepping back and forth and like peeking down this hallway.
Okay. Peeking down the hallway, you don't see anything. It seems to be a very, very long hallway that ends in a turn off to the right. There are several other hallways, or there are several other small doorways that each appear to have a light source beyond them. And then another hallway off to the right. So speaking of this one here.
Okay, so I see another glowing room.
Yeah,
nearby.
Glowing room here, and you see another faint glow coming from the room here.
Okay, Tess will turn around to Ianfyr and whisper, or not really whisper, but talk kind of low. Tess sees another mirror room up ahead.
Healthiest, if you could hold your movement until we come back, and just kind of make them a little bit more direct and not just kind of moving around all the time. That would be amazing.
I'll go ahead and end my turn so we can get back to the others.
Right. So Yolantha, you would just cast Speak with Animals, and you approach the weasel. What do you want to do?
Yolantha clears her throat and she's like, "Excuse me, you seem to be having a bit of trouble. Let me help you." And she reaches down to offer up her hand for the weasel to climb up to her shoulder or something.
Is he?
Well, would anyone be opposed to me lighting a torch? I, for one, do not have the same acuity for seeing the darkness as the rest of you lot.
Yolantha looks over at Val and she's like, "I don't think you can ride on my shoulder."
I'm not sure how you gathered that from what I just said, but I agree that it would probably be a bad idea for me to attempt that. He produces a torch from his pack, and I'm gonna go ahead and...
If we're worried about the smell of torch, I can do continual flame. I don't know if we're worried that somebody in here might smell the burning of the torch.
Oh, well, I mean, in that case, I can, if you'd like to do that.
I think that our Pass Without Trace spell should mask the smell of a torch.
Oh yeah, that's true. That would mask the smell of the torch.
Okay, then yeah, we're good to go.
But actually, I'm not sure. Oh, it's for an hour, so.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right.
He said that's perfect. You couldn't hear him.
Close the door. Okay.
All right. So healthiest, right? Or not back then?
No, healthiest is back.
I figured he was back because his token was moving, but he's not talking. Or
he
might be
his
muted.
audio went back out.
Hello.
Healthiest, can you hear us? Yeah, I think his audio's out again. Darn.
Hello.
Hey, that sucks.
That sucks. We heard him for like a minute.
But he's also not typing anything in chat, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Let's come back to that for now. Let's just keep the game rolling forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Val's going to go ahead and move up to where you're at, Tess, and kind of shine the torch around the corner. Yeah, I guess not. So, there are several other rooms up ahead, he describes to the rest of you.
Well, Yolantha scoops up the little weasel and kind of just cradles it and follows along.
Miska's just gonna follow at her distance.
So Tess is gonna slip on over to this room here, and she's gonna peek inside real quick.
All right. So inside this room is yet another mirror with a chair observing it set up upon a about 6-inch pedestal. The mirror this time depicts a much more the room that is depicted in this picture is much less ancient and abandoned, and looks like a room beyond that is currently in use. While you don't see anybody in the room, the furnishings at first glance look very expensive.
So it looks like the room that's like regularly used, but there's no one in the room in the mirror.
Yeah, it looks like this is a bedroom, obviously, but furnishings and stuff are very expensive looking. Are you gonna? I take it you're walking up to the mirror to take a closer look.
Yeah.
I was gonna follow suit behind you and walk into the room as well. I'll let anybody else that wants to move up, you can at this point. Ianfyr, you're trying to go past the room to the next one?
Yeah.
Cool. Miss Scoop still bringing up the rear.
Just as with the last room, Tess is going to grab both sides of the mirror and stick her face through.
This room looks to be the bed chamber of some obviously dwarven royalty. You've never seen the face on the paintings that are in this room before, but there are several of them all depicting the same dwarf. He appears to be, well, do I have a picture? I might have a picture. I do not currently have a picture. I will get you a picture of this person. But before, he's very stately. He has a long black beard, and he has like short, he has longer black hair as well that seems to be kind of tied back. He's in one of the pictures, probably the largest one. He's wearing a full suit of plate armor, and he has his hand resting on a war wall. Yes, yeah, we can hear you again.
Okay, I had my mic actually put up.
Oops. Okay, so I see these pictures of this dwarf. Is there any kind of like text or plaque looking thing that would have text like underneath the portrait, like engraved or anything?
Yeah, there is.
But I can't make it out from this distance, right?
Not from this distance, no. Looking down, you see that there is a sort of like desk area right in front of the mirror.
Anyone else have any actions they want to take before I move on?
Yolanthe, carrying the weasel, actually kind of walks a little bit farther down the hallway towards Ianfyr and peers down, trying to see if there's anything, or to see if she can hear or smell it or see anything.
Go ahead and roll another perception check. So we have a 27. You don't hear anything, but you do see the two hallways here, and there's another room over here that seem to be emanating that low, kind of light. Like there's a light source beyond it, the same as the other mirror.
Yolanthe,
as you step closer, you can see the same thing.
Yolanthe doesn't really understand the mirrors, so she's kind of decided to put her attention more on the figure. Which way did they go?
Last you saw, they kind of slipped down the hallway this way.
Okay, she's gonna creep up to the corner here and peer around to see if she can see them.
Roll another one. Nothing.
Poop. Okay,
all right.
That's it for me.
Ianfyr's going to pull out the little pocket mirror to sort of use that to peek into the other mirror.
Oh, nice.
Or this hallway.
As you pull out the pocket mirror, you place it around the corner and look into the mirror and try to get a good view of what's going on. The mirror in this room is is quite a bit different than the ones you've seen in previous rooms, in that it looks like it just reflects the room back. Although without closer inspection, it's a little hard to tell.
Ianfyr looks over at Ianfyr. She's like, so that's what's making that irritating noise.
Sorry. All right. So Ianfyr's gonna look back to the others and say, "I found a mirror." Well, I mean, I guess there's no one since the others are in the other room. He'll come back to this.
Yeah, you'd have to kind
room.
of get a little louder.
He'll come back and then sort of look into this other mirror room and say to Val, "I found a different mirror from the others."
Tess, are you okay?
Tess is gonna step through the mirror.
You're gonna like go through the mirror to the other side?
Yeah, to that desk that's near the mirror on the other side, and she's gonna see if she can find any documents that have any names or anything on them.
Are you trying to stealth or anything like that?
Is that buff still running?
Yes.
Yeah, it runs for an hour.
Yeah, we'll do a stealth check on that.
Hey, does the weasel get buffed too, or because he wasn't there, not so much?
I think.
What do I have to do for the
he
buff?
wasn't
Do I
there.
have to do like an extra,
Oof.
like, I'll use my inspiration to re-roll that one. But for the buff, do I have to roll a d10 for that?
No,
it's
you
an
roll a
automatic
stealth.
plus 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like an automatic plus 10.
Yep. So 27. So you crawl, you know, step through the mirror. You actually step out onto the top of this desk. And the first thing you note when you step out is there are several drawers on it, which you immediately open and find the first papers that you can find, take them and stash them in your in the first place that you can, which is probably in some of the folds of your robe.
Or probably her big ass bag with the skull in it. In fact, she places the document inside the skull's mouth.
Okay.
And then she's gonna come back through the mirror.
Balphalin offers his hand to you to help pull you through the mirror and up onto the desk. Tess, you've got to be more careful. You could get us all caught.
Oh, sorry. Tess is curious. We did get the document, though. And she'll pull this this paper out from the skull and take a look at it.
Perusing over the paper, they look like some sort of legal documents, possibly maybe some kind of journal. You're not really sure at first glance, but you definitely notice the name Craven Drac written in several places there. You know that to be the current emperor.
Craven, spelled with a C or a K?
With a K.
Okay. Let me catch up my notes real quick.
So Ianfyr, you had just popped around the hallway and said that you found another mirror room, this one slightly different from the rest.
Yeah.
Miska, you probably overheard that as well. Ianfyr, Healthiest, any actions?
Ianfyr looks down at the weasel and she's like, well, now that you've gotten over your headache a little bit, do you feel like talking? Where did you come from?
Refer to your messages, Ianfyr.
What?
Oh, I think he's been DMing Ianfyr. No.
Oh, I see it.
Keeping secrets?
She looks thoughtful at the weasel and then scritches him behind the ear and nods. And she says, I understand.
Balphalin, overhearing this exchange, goes, curious. He starts to leave the room, looking back to make sure Tess is in tow and not getting into any more trouble.
You may have to attach a leash to her. Tess is kind of half paying attention and walking behind Val as she reviews this legal document, and she says, Craven Drac.
The Emperor.
These Dracs are just getting into all kinds of shady business.
Wait, so the mirror goes to... So the mirror belongs to the Emperor?
Tess is assuming. I mean, look at that room. And she points back to the mirror and how, like, extravagant and lavish everything is. This legal document and signed in Craven Drac's name. Tess can only assume that that could be his room. Perhaps a study. Although why they would have one of these mirrors, I guess we need to figure that out.
Could be coincidence.
With a Drac behind it? Tess does not think so.
Do you think he's aware of what the mirror's purpose is?
I say before we think about what others are purposes are, we should figure more about where we are and how we're gonna get out of this situation.
Also, where our friend is. We still haven't found our kenku friend.
Tess can only hope that he's safe.
Yolanthe turns to Val and she says, so I figured out the business with our little friend here. And she holds the weasel up at arm's length. She's like, say hello to Healthius.
Oh, so he did decide to come along somehow.
Did you polymorph yourself again?
I think this is his pet.
An avatar. Interesting. Sorry, what did you say, Ianfyr?
I was gonna say I was nowhere near him. How did he change himself into a weasel?
Well, Healthius is a magic user. You've known that.
And
Ianfyr's all huffy. He's like, the only magic user here is me. Meanwhile, the druid looks unimpressed.
Tell me about this other mirror room you've found.
And yeah, Ianfyr will lead them down and into this other room.
Miss Goo, are we still all clear back there?
Do I see anything back down the way we came?
How far can you see? Go ahead and roll a perception check. You see nothing. Just a empty hallway as far as you can see. You also don't hear anything.
Mr. Pierce back down the way that we came and back towards Tess. Coast clear so far.
Okay, thank you.
As you enter this mirror room, this mirror is quite a bit different. So instead of actually showing you any kind of portal to any kind of room on the other side, it appears to be the exact same room. So as you come in, you can see your own reflection in the mirror, and it's actually kind of eerie as you look into it. So you can see like Val Phelan and Ianfyr and yourself, Tess.
Is there any reaction from the little pocket mirror?
There doesn't seem to be. It seems to be pretty consistent on just humming and reflecting merrily. Tess, go ahead and roll a perception check. And Ianfyr, go ahead and roll a perception check. I need quick. Put my dice. There they are. Ianfyr, peering into the mirror for a moment, you see yourself blink.
What?
Spooky.
What?
Okay. I saw my reflection take an action that I didn't.
What did he do? Pick his nose?
No, it was just a blink, but it's definitely something I would have missed if I wasn't paying attention.
Bell takes a step forward toward the mirror, places his hand on the side of the chair, as does his reflection, and he stares into the mirror. Are you sure you didn't imagine it?
I mean, it was so subtle, I almost would have thought so, but I've definitely had the senses to pay attention to the kind of these things, and I know I didn't blink, and seeing myself blink is unusual.
Tess, you see yourself blink.
Oh. Tess sees what you mean. Real quick, Tessa's going to... The thought just crossed her mind. She's gonna walk up to the mirror and see if she can, like, peer behind it. Is there any space to see if there is the same name engraved on the back of this mirror?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she's trying to look behind it. The thought occurs to her that she should have been checking these mirrors to see if all of them have that same name.
Equally, you see Tess in the other side of this mirror, cross around to the other side. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. All right. You start to run your hand along the sides of the mirror. And as you cross in front of the mirror to go to the other side of the mirror, check the other side, you cross right in front of yourself. And you look down at the mirror and make eye contact, and once again, you see yourself blink.
But I can't feel any kind of name or anything on the back of the mirror. Or can't see a name.
There seems to be some kind of ridges here that might be that, but it's going to take some polish to get the dust off.
Okay.
Well, so Ianfyr is going to go over to the other side, sort of just to see what Tess is looking at, and say, "Oh, you know what? This thing could use a little good bit of cleaning." And then he's going to go ahead and wave his hands a bit as he goes. Where is it?
All right, and he'll say, "Darn darling."
And he will once again cast the prestidigitation spell, this time to clean the surface.
There is absolutely the same name inscribed on this mirror. Brogruk. Brogruk, yes. Balfour.
Yep, that is the same name.
Interesting.
I wonder what makes this mirror different from the others. Besides making us have blinking reflections.
Indeed.
When we move, is it like a one-to-one movement with the reflection? Or does it seem like there's a bit of delay?
It's a 1-to-1 movement. Otherwise. Or it seems to be anyway.
Ianfyr's gonna go up to the mirror, and he's gonna pull out the pocket mirror and hold it so that the mirror side of the pocket mirror faces towards the mirror.
You see your reflection do the exact same thing. Are you looking into the pocket mirror? What are you doing here exactly?
I'm gonna look into the pocket mirror in the mirror reflection.
It seems to reflect like you would expect.
So only a reflection of what's in here.
Almost like a mirror.
Perhaps there's something missing from here that makes this mirror become like the others.
Interesting. So, Ianfyr, you can kind of hear the chatter in the other room from where you're at.
Yeah, Ianfyr has been kind of filling Healthiest in on what's going on and all the different mirrors that we've seen. But she's also looking around the corner of this hallway, and she's like, I really want to go find that person we see before they find us. So she's going to kind of ease around the corner here.
Okay. So, first glance, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. There are some more hallways leading to the left and right. Each of them appears to have the same glow as before, indicating that there may be a room with a mirror beyond each of them.
All right, she just kind of keeps creeping down the hallway with her ears up, and then she stops and thinks for a second. And then she's like, this would be so much easier if, and then she taps at her pendant again, but kind of hesitates, and she's like, I'm not sure if I should. So she kind of sighs and just keeps creeping down the hallway a little bit.
Okay.
Ianfyr is gonna look back towards Tess and Valphalin and say, we should probably continue on and see if we can find other mirrors.
That sounds like a good plan.
Tess, you notice that as Ianfyr turns around, his counterpart in the mirror does not, and it remains looking into the mirror.
Tess is going to reach up, or she's going to approach the mirror just one more time, and without trying to put her hand through the mirror, she's going to reach up and touch the mirror with her hand and see what her reflection does.
Your reflection does the same thing, and as you touch the mirror, it's not the mirror that you feel, it's your own hand on the other side.
Oh no.
Spooky.
Am I able to grab that hand?
As soon as you think about doing that, the other hand grabs your hand and hoists herself through the mirror.
Which is switching places, or?
No.
So we have two Tesses coming in now.
That's not good.
Tess knew it.
Wait, Tess is Tess. You are not Tess.
Tess is Tess. You are not Tess.
No, Tess is Tess. You are Tess too.
She folds her arms. I'm not playing this game.
Ha! You just said I am. Tess never says I am. Well, maybe on occasion. What are you?
Perhaps I could answer that question. And the other Valphalin steps through the mirror as well.
Oh no.
It of course seems that you are a doppelganger.
You're a doppelganger.
And of course, Ianfyr also steps through the mirror. There are two of me. Perfect.
No, there's only one of me.
It's like the Spider-Man pointing meme. Like nobody knows how to reply. They're just like, what?
Yeah, there is only one Ianfyr. You're a cigarette.
Well, this is strange.
This is quite the conundrum.
So, on your side of the mirror, are there also Yolanthe and... Well, sure, they're just around the corner.
Yolanthe suddenly hears all this like chattering going on. She's like, that's... something doesn't sound right. And she starts heading back and she hears her name and she comes back towards the room. And she gets into the doorway and she sees way too many versions of way too many people and just immediately like hulks out into wolf mode and is just going nuts barking.
Okay, one moment.
Oh no.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. That's the wrong wolf.
A giant wolf.
It's not
Big
working
heckin'
now.
wolf.
Dire wolf.
Yeah, I did drag in the dire wolf by accident. Okay. Yolanthe in wolf form. You see this exact scene happen on the other side, but instead of stopping there, this Yolanthe actually comes through the mirror. One moment, please, while I get this arranged.
Oh no, please don't tell me they're gonna have to sniff each other.
Doing circles, sniffing the butt.
Also, like, right before turning into the wolf, Yolanthe had the little weasel thief cradled in her arms, and she just kind of like drops him on the ground. So, sorry, thief.
Oh yeah, that thief would be like right over here. So yeah, you see these two wolves immediately start circling one another and sniffing each other's butts.
Yolanthe has her hackles raised up, like teeth bared.
Misku, you can now hear all of this going down.
And Misku's gonna book it towards the room.
Misku's like, pass.
Okay. If we're all gonna start coming out to meet each other, we're gonna need more space.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, but I said it first.
I'll give you that, but I probably thought it first.
Were you guys also investigating these mirrors?
Yes. It seems we both perhaps have the same agenda. Did you come through the mirror from the ship?
Did you come through the mirror from the ship?
I thought that's what I implied.
Yes, we did the same thing.
I mean, technically we came through the mirror through the other mirror.
Right. There's too many mirrors. I'm getting confused.
Then, yeah, let's get into the hallway. I think
the Ianfyr next to you goes typical Val, and the other Val kind of like shoots this kind of glare at him for just a moment, which at first kind of catches you as being kind of out of character for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, Ianfyr would definitely like look to Val and say, "Don't worry, I'd never say that about you."
I would hope not. Personally, I want to see which one is the better sorcerer.
Oh, there's no question about that.
Your Val kind of looks over at the other and cocks his eyebrow a bit. Interesting. Well, perhaps we should move on.
And then when Ianfyr comes out, he's gonna give a look towards Misku, sort of as a little bit of a thing to try to gesture some concern.
You see, Misku, you see Ianfyr like point back at the room and mouth, "What the fuck?"
I have a question.
Yes.
Wolf form Yolanthe, can I smell anything? Like, does this other Yolanthe smell like an actual wolf, or does it smell weird?
It smells exactly like you. You don't, like, in other words, you don't really smell anything. Like, it's that scent of yourself that you're, like, pretty familiar with.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Yolanthe, the Yolanthe is, like, still hackles up, like, guard dog, attack dog mode.
Let me see here. So suddenly, Tess, from behind you, Misku comes through the mirror saying, "You guys, I don't think we should be on this side of the mirror."
Oh, hi, Misku.
The other Tess says, "I'm sure it's fine." Or Tess is sure it's fine. Sorry, I'm getting used to being Tess.
Tess is being used to being Tess all the time.
Looking at the other Tess, she's going to cock her head to the side and say, Tess needs to brush her hair more often.
Tess needs to learn to respect boundaries.
Rude.
Does Merites have a mother skull too? Or a bag with a mother skull?
Yes.
Oh my.
Can I hear all this out in the hallway?
Yes. They're being quite loud.
All right, Misku's gonna like just push past the Borks.
You push past the Borks.
Hi, Misku.
The other Misku looks directly into your eyes and kind of leans in and squints a little bit and goes, "You're a curious one."
Misku gets like returns the same, squints and gets really close looking at her.
Oh, my head is spinning. And the other Val says, "Don't be so weak about it."
Other Val's a dick. What is other Bork doing?
Still kind of investigating your backside.
Yolanthe keeps like dodging away and snapping at it. Them.
It kind of does the same thing to you. Yeah, it seems to be just as cautious of you as you are of it.
Well, other Ianfyr seems to be a little bit more cocky than usual. This test seems to be rude as hell. And she kind of like darts a glare at other tests for a moment.
You Tess are one to talk.
This Miscu is not as quick to bonk things. This Valphalin is calling names. It's very weird. It's like you're the worst versions of ourselves.
I'm gonna try and intimidate myself.
Your other self kind of puts her hands up and doesn't want anything to do with it. Look, there's no need for a fight.
And that is out of character for Miscu.
I mean, they did come from a mirror, so maybe on the other side, that is in character.
So
indeed,
perhaps
you are the ones who are acting weird, the other Val says.
Well, you're the ones who came through here. Perhaps you should go back where you came from.
It would beat wasting time on this side of the mirror. We have other things to do.
Yeah, we need to get back to looking for these other mirrors.
Indeed, as do we. I, for one, hope that our paths don't cross again.
Either way, Tess wishes you well in your investigation.
He scoffs, and the other Miscu turns around and... Don't mind them. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
The, Yolanthe, the other version of yourself, lets out a sharp bark, and it echoes through the chamber.
Oh no, that was loud.
Hops back through
Yolanthe barks back.
And one by one, the others seem to just cross back through the mirror. Rather unsettling to know that they exist, is it not?
And as unpleasant as they are.
You watch as they all exit the room, kind of talking amongst themselves as they leave.
Miscu's gonna pick up her club and kind of motion as if she's gonna bash it with the handle to the mirror. You know, so we're gonna break this one.
At this
I'm not
point,
sure if that's wise.
But if it sends your weapon through the mirror instead?
What if the weapons just bounce off each other?
Also fair.
Yolanthe comes over and pees on the mirror.
The other Miscu on the other side of the mirror says, I think it would be a good idea. This can't exist. What's your... She takes her club and swings it at the mirror, and it, you know, doesn't connect. It like goes through. So like there's a an audible like whoosh. That didn't work.
Yeah, magic mirrors.
Miscu's just gonna cross her arms and scoff and just kind of walk away from the mirror.
We could try dispelling the magic on the mirror. If we are very determined to destroy it, that is.
We need to... We should be on our way. We can come back to this some other time.
Okie
I
dokie.
agree. Val walks out of the room.
Stop telling me there's a wall there.
Well, we can either go down this hallway or keep going.
Ianfyr is going to come up to this doorway over here. And once again, he's going to pull out his little pocket mirror to look inside.
Inside this room is another of the mirrors, same as before. Only this time the mirror seems to depict an old-looking wooden cabin from the inside. You can see what looks like a sort of kitchen area, as well as a sort of sitting area and a window on the far wall.
Does it look similar to the cabin area from the expedition?
It's hard to tell.
I'm gonna go over to the thing and I'm gonna go up a little closer to it.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
I'm gonna go ahead and use inspiration on this.
Okay. Inside the room, and from one of the shadows of the room, you see a small figure that emerges from the shadow briefly and makes eye contact with you in the mirror. Small kenku, very familiar looking. I'll show the image real quick here. So a small kenku clad in robes. It looks to be Skrittow. Makes eye contact with you, but then turns around and exits through the door of the cabin.
Ianfyr is gonna turn back and try to softly call to Tess. I think I just saw your friend Skrittow.
Skrittow, you say?
Yes.
Tess wonders if that is his cabin, his room, perhaps.
Interesting.
Did he notice you at all?
Yes, he immediately saw me and then went through the door in the cabin.
What were you going to have Val say?
Just interesting.
Is the cabin like really, really small, like a really tiny room?
Yeah, it's pretty small. Are you gonna like go up and take a look at it, or?
Yeah.
Looking through the mirror, there is so it's kind of a yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small cabin. There's sort of like a corner of it that is dedicated, obviously, like a kitchen area. There's like a little island with where you can like prepare food and a small like a stovetop, an oven kind of situation. There's a sitting area that you can see. Everything looks really run down, and there are cobwebs, and it's very time worn. The place otherwise looks to be abandoned, and it looks like it was long abandoned. Out the window, you can see a very dense forest and what looks to be like a big bowl kind of canyon, just covered in trees.
Are any of the trees big enough to be familiar?
No, but there is a very big structure right in the center of the canyon that you've got a clear shot of through the window. It looks like this. And that. Oh, wait.
It appears to be a pixelated castle.
Yeah, sorry, I can only do these.
It's all good.
So large.
What a strange structure.
Yeah, it's very creepy looking.
Is it familiar at all?
No.
There's some kind of big tower. Big castle looking thing. Although it does not appear familiar to Tess. And she'll take a step back from the mirror.
Much as I would normally never say this or even suggest it, we may need to go through here to see if we can find Skrittow, because he might be our best chance at finding answers at where we are and what we're supposed to do.
And as though I'm want not to say this, I'm inclined to agree with Ianfyr.
Rude.
Yeah, he kind of smirks.
James Val does have some snarkiness to him.
It was a joke, of course.
Well, nothing like the jokes from our friend Rex, because after all, when he tells a joke, it's funny.
It is always funny. Well, let us gather everyone and discuss the plan.
Indeed. Lead the way. I'll be right behind you.
And Tess steps out and she kind of like, psst. Hey, everybody, come here.
Yolanthe's ears perk up and she starts running towards Tess immediately.
We're not really using the tokens as much at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and cut us back to the landing page.
Yeah.
But with the eerie music. Oh, and also, you know, it's like dark.
Oh, it did something weird. It said gave some kind of message, but now it's not loading the landing page. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay. It's dark. I thought that was a cool effect. I don't know.
So Tess takes a moment to explain to everyone that our friend Skrittow, we saw him in the cabin and he left. And when Tess peered through, she saw a creepy castle. And of course, Ianfyr thinks it's a good idea to go to the creepy castle. So yeah, that's the plan. Tess does think that we should take a moment to gather our bearings if anyone needs to take a short rest before we go through the mirror. Now is a good time.
I'm inclined to agree with that. It has been a long day, and we just had barely disembarked the HMCV Winchester when we were pulled through this portal, as it were. I could use rest. However, it does occur to me that we have also seen figures wandering these halls, and although I'm not inclined to believe that they were our avian friend, It's quite likely.
Perhaps we should go through the mirror and take a short break in the cabin.
That does sound like a good idea. Anybody opposed to that?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Tess will see you on the other side. And she's gonna enter that mirror room and go through the mirror into the old cabin.
Okay. So yeah, you hop through the mirror. On the other side of the mirror is like I described it before, just a small cabin. Although the wall that the mirror is on has seems to have a room on the other side of it. Kind of peeking into the room, it seems to be an old bedroom with kind of a run-down bed.
She'll poke her head back through the other side and say, "Looks safe and sound. Come on through. Come on in. The mirror is warm."
Val steps through the mirror.
Mitsuki follows suit.
Ianfyr is gonna follow.
Ianfyr parks her little wolf self outside of the mirror to keep watch.
So I'm going to assume at this point it's pretty much business as usual. You're going to take a long rest. You'll have a lookout every. You'll have alternating lookouts and things like that. Firstly, who's on first watch? I think you said Ianfyr was doing it just now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ianfyr's got the first watch. You'll alternate otherwise. Cool. I'll handle processing all of that. Let me actually take a note of that real quick on my episode header. Okay. Okay, so Healthiest, what's your plan? Are you going to remain connected, or are you going to disconnect and then reconnect to your animal familiar?
I think he is going to. I think he's actually dropping off so that he can head to work.
Ah, okay. That's weird. I see his portrait lit up like he's trying to talk, but no audio coming through. Okay. I will, hopefully we won't have as many technical difficulties on that front for next time. But for the rest of you, you set up a camp in here. You find like a small oven that you're able to grab some of the old wood laying next to it and toss it in there and get a fire going. So it warms up pretty quickly. Outside the window, that what you can make it out to be is there's sort of like a ruined castle, or like a fort or something. No, it's a castle set on top of a big cliff. It looks like it's like you wouldn't be able to get up there. It would be a very long and terrible climb. But perhaps there's another way in.
Yeah, climbing's for amateurs.
All right, everybody. So that's our session for today. We'll be back not next week, but the week after that. Keep an eye on my Twitch page for information there, and as well on Twitter and all of that. But yeah, that is our campaign for today. Everybody who is present, please go ahead and re-add inspiration if you've already used it. Great role play, great interactions all around with the weird mirror party and all of that. But otherwise, investigating the mirrored planes and or the plane of mirrors and getting this far. So great job there. I guess that we'll see you next time. And until then, this is VGpunx and Friends, and we're signing off. Keep a song in your heart.
Bye.
Bye.